Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday, the 25th of February 2023. Today's Millwall news: it was match day. Away up at Stoke, and we won. It was 1-0. Fleming the match winners, Millwall win at Stoke. This is from millwallfc.co, Millwall's official club website. Zion Fleming's 11th goal of the season helped Millwall defeat Stoke City 1-0 in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. The Dutchman's early strike at the home of the Potters saw the Lions through to a 6-away victory of the 22-23 campaign. Gary Rowett brought Tom Bradshaw back into his starting 11 for a trip to the Bet365 Stadium, with Seb Drozd taking a place on the bench, as Oliver Burke and Duncan Watmore missed out through illness and injury respectively. The Lions started on the front foot in Staffordshire and forced 2 early corner kicks. The second was nodded wide by Charlie Cresswell at the back post from George Saville's delivery. With 9 minutes on the clock, that early pressure paid dividends when, after Saville did well to win the ball back for Millwall in midfield, Fleming was able to drive towards goal and slot his 11th of the campaign into the back of the net from the edge of the penalty area. After a cheap concession of possession, Stoke's first attempt of the afternoon came from Josh Laurent, but with 13 minutes played, he sent the shot over George on crossbar. The Potters then had the ball in the net 3 minutes later, but after a fortunate deflection, Jacob Brown was offside as he tucked the ball home. Dwight Gale's free header was directed straight along before the striker looked to be in on goal in 37 minutes, but as he shaped to shoot, he completely missed the ball, which was gratefully accepted by Long. An attempt from Laurent looked to be a goal bound until Danny McNair's deflection took it wide of his far post shortly before the half-time whistle, and with referee Tim Robinson blowing for the break with the Lions 1-up. That picture is from the goal there. Stoke began the second period in the ascendancy but failed to trouble Long. Their crosses proving wasteful and either running out of play, being mopped up by the Millwall defence. The Lions did have a chance on the hour mark after a free kick was flicked on by Murray Wallace and into the path of Bradshaw. The goalkeeper Matija Starkic raced off his line to punch clear from danger. There were 65 minutes played when Millwall and Bradshaw were handed a major chance following another set piece as the Welshman shaped up to shoot was denied by an outstanding block from the Potters, Ben Wilmot. Laurent sent his shot into the Stoke fans behind the goal. The last 15 minutes came into view, but with the Potters continually wasting attacking moments in front of goal, the Lions were able to negotiate the latter stages to hold their place in the division's top 6. And the team was as follows: Long, Cooper, Cresswell, Wallace, McNamara, Shackleton, Fleming, Honeyman, Saville, Vogelsammer, Bradshaw. Subs: Leonard on 76 minutes for Shackleton, Evans on 87 minutes for Saville, Hutchinson on 76 minutes for Vogelsammer, and Malone on in injury time for Bradshaw. And young new subs were Drozd, Biakovsky, and Esse. So the official attendance was 19,773, with 966 of those Millwall fans, which is interesting because yesterday they put out a thing saying there will be 967 Millwall fans. So did someone get a refund or someone didn't collect their ticket out there? Interesting, but there you go. I don't know if you've figured it out from the match report, but you probably will when you see the highlights later. After we scored, it was basically defend, and then defend some more. That's what it was. It was a defending masterclass from Millwall. Wow, what can you say? It's the kind of win that feels very it's not pretty win, it's not a sexy win, but it's the kind of win that you need to do throughout the season if you're going to do something in this league. If you're going to get into the playoffs, if you're going to finish in the top 2, these are the kind of results you have to grind out, especially away from home. And we did it at Cardiff a couple of weeks ago. We did it now at Stoke. So good stuff. And again, so we've got more players out. Watmore out. We've got Hutch came back. Watmore's out. So you've got Seb Drozd on the bench, who's an under 21s. But yeah, just to say about Zion Fleming's goal, brilliant. Saville won the ball on the halfway line. laid it off to Vogelsammer. Vogelsammer lays it in Zion Fleming. Zion Fleming just runs at Stoke towards the D. The Stoke ones, there's like 3 Stoke players between him and the goal, and one of them's just backpedaling, and the other 2 are not really, just doing nothing. And it's kind of you see how he took the goal. He placed it side-footed into the corner of the goal, which is probably what Stoke should have done with their shots, but they were going for power all the time. So that's the difference. Just trying to whack a shot in, or placing it in the corner where maybe the goalkeeper can't jump that far. But yeah, literally we scored in the 9th minute and we defended for most of the half. I think if you watch the highlights, I watched the highlights on Sky Sports. We had basically one more chance after that. Bradshaw, ball looped up in the area for Bradshaw. He was on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he waited for the ball to come down so he could swipe his leg at it. I think maybe if he would have headed it back towards goal, if he headed it towards the near post, he probably wouldn't have done anything because the goal was coming in that direction. But if you head it back into the other corner, that may have done something. But hey ho, that was a smash and grab. That was we got the goal and just sat back, and it worked. And you can see the changes that we made defensively. Hutchinson come off for Vogelsammer, which is quite unusual. Don't usually bring centre back on. We'd bring Leonard on, of course, and play him in the back 3 sometimes. But yeah, we were just holding on, and we held on, and we got the 3 points, which is good. Moving on to this, so we've got some match reaction from the manager and various others. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. Gary Rowett admits Millwall had to work really, really hard to edge past Stoke City. Zion Fleming's goal was a difference at the Bet365 Stadium as the Lions did enough to stay in 5th place. Gary Rowett admitted that his side had to work really, really hard to pick up all 3 points against Stoke City on Saturday afternoon. The Lions picked up a 1-0 win thanks to Zion Fleming's early goal, while Alex Neil's men penned them back for the remainder of the game. The hosts rarely carved out any clear-cut chances, keeping Millwall in 5th place ahead of Tuesday's trip to Luton Town. Nonetheless, Rowett admitted that it was far from easy for his players today, adding that their injury issues made it hard to prepare for the clash. I think it was a difficult game for us, he said after the win. Not having Berkey available, not having Watmore available. We knew we were short of numbers. We knew we were a bit short of energy. I think Sav has played with a groin injury. He probably shouldn't, but he wanted to get out there. I thought it was one of those games where it would be a tough game today. Stoke coming off the back of their good win at Swansea. I thought their tails would be up a bit. I thought they moved the ball really, really well. They made it difficult for us to get out. We didn't play with enough quality to get out, but I feel that they made it difficult for us to get out. It was an excellent goal we scored. Sav wins a couple of really good challenges, plays it to Zion, and we know he's got the good quality once you get back off him as a defender. He's got that quality in and around the edge of the box to be clinical. It was a wonderful finish. Just his instep, little bit of pace, side foots into the bottom corner. At that point, I was probably frustrated in the first half. We didn't seem to get out with the right energy, and I think I turned in one of those with Robin. He said, we're just going to have to grind it out today. It's one of those days. Exactly, we did grind it out. On the back of playing Sheffield United, on the back of playing Burnley. It's been a tough week, but if one thing's for sure, this team knows how to grind it out. This team knows how to win games. Whether that's ugly, whether that's in a good way, whatever it is, that's for other people to judge. The 3 points are really important today. We've had to work really, really hard for them. Yes, indeed. Now, what effect does that have on Tuesday? A lot of effort going into today's game, mental and physical. Can the players recover in time for Tuesday? So here we go. Why was Watmore missing? So the Millwall boss reveals why Duncan Watmore missed the 1-0 win in Stoke City. This is also from the southwarknews.co.uk. The former Middlesbrough man was one of a number of players that missed the Lions' narrow win in Staffordshire. Gary Rowett revealed that Duncan Watmore missed today's win against Stoke City with a knee injury. The winger has been an important part of the Lions squad since joining in the January transfer window, but he picked up a knock in the final stages of Tuesday's 1-1 draw against Burnley. It meant he was unable to feature at the Bet365 Stadium this afternoon, although Rowett is hopeful that he and Oliver Burke can return in time to face Luton Town in 3 days' time. Duncan got whacked to his knee late on. He was struggling with it, Rowett said after today's win. Berkey tried to train yesterday, but he wasn't well enough to get through it. Adomo's still unwell. I think we've got about 7 or 8 key players out at the moment. With a squad like ours, it just starts to stretch it. It means that we've got very few changes in a certain area of the pitch. We had very few attacking changes today. I don't think Stoke had many either, so maybe they've got the same issue. It was difficult, just when you want a little bit of something fresh to take you up the pitch. We didn't have that. We had to change it at the back. Bit dismissive there of Romain Esse. Romain Esse certainly could have picked the ball up higher up the pitch and dribbled it further forward. Seb Drost, he hasn't played yet, he hasn't featured for the first team yet, but he is very quick, so if you wanted to just lob balls over the top and have him run into the corners and just hold it up to the corners, he could have done that. But like I said, we were just trying to grind out defensive stuff, and we did that. So fair enough, and it worked. So here we go. Stoke win proves Millwall can grind out results in different ways. This is also from the southernnews.co.uk. Stoke win proves. I already read that. The Lions mustered just 28% possession in their narrow victory in the Bet365 Stadium. Gary Rowett believes that Saturday's win against Stoke City shows that Millwall can play in different ways and still pick up points in difficult games. The Lions adopted a free-flowing attack-minded approach in their 3-2 victory against Sheffield United last weekend, while standing toe-to-toe against Burnley in their 1-1 draw on Tuesday. Their win against the Potters was different, however, and required a backs-to-the-wall performance to seal all 3 points in Staffordshire. In the Sheffield United win, I thought we played really, really well. We used the ball well, Rowett said. If you look at QPR wide, we used the ball really, really well. Today, we didn't use the ball well enough, and Stoke's movement caused us problems until the final third. I would say at that point, I thought we dealt with it fairly well. For all they could play, they didn't have loads of good chances, loads of good opportunities. Towards the end, all of us subs more or less were defenders or midfielders. So I knew that at some point we would probably have to go to a back five. We went 5-3-2 to change it up a little bit. I thought we looked a little bit more comfortable. Then we went to 5-4-1. I never really felt as though Stoke were going to get an equaliser, but they moved the ball well. Still had those moments. We were very, very good at defending our box. And I thought the 2 centre-halves were absolutely outstanding today. In a difficult game and a hard-earned 3 points. Yeah, Cresswell, I think man of the match is probably between Cresswell and Honeyman. I think. That's what people were saying. And now we go with the fourth story from the Southern News.co today. The guy, I think he was on the train home with his laptop because he's absolutely grinding them out. You can't think like that or you'll be thinking about it forever. No extra motivation for the Millwall manager after beating his former club. It wasn't even spoken about before that. But yeah, this was, I believe, wasn't Gary Rowett's first game in charge against Stoke. Well, it's Stoke away, wasn't it? What was it, 3.5 years ago, or whenever it is. The Gary Rowett has moved on from his time in Staffordshire and believes that Alex Neil will get the Potters promoted if he is given the time. Gary Rowett claimed that there was no extra sweet feeling after beating his former team, Stoke City, at the Bet365 Stadium. Rowett spent just under 8 months in charge of the Potters after they were relegated from the league, but he was sacked when they were sat in the bottom half of the table after being tipped to win the championship. He went on to join Millwall in 2019 and has since beaten Stoke 5 times, doing the double over them this season after winning 2-0 at the Den and on the opening day of winning 2-0 at the Den on the opening day of the season. He explained that he's moved on from his time in Staffordshire and is fully focused on the Lions' playoff push, adding his belief that Alex Neil will manage to see his side back to the Premier League during his tenure. I don't think we had too bad a record at Stoke. We were 3 points off the playoffs very shortly before I left. It's a long, long time ago. Stoke have had opportunities to get back where they need to be. I've moved on and I'm fully focused on Millwall. People think it must be so much nicer to come back and get the points, but the reality is you can't think like that, or you'll be thinking about it forever. I'm fully focused on trying to get Millwall into the top six, and I've been doing that for 3.5 bloody years now. I think Alex is fully focused on getting Stoke back to where they need to be. And give him time, I think he will. It's never easy when you don't bounce back to the Premier League. Yes. It's not. But you still do get that parachute payment money. But when that runs out, then it's certainly not easy at all. Now, that's it for the roundup. Now we're going to have a little look at the table as it stands now. Here's the rest of the results for today. Now, some results did go away, but some didn't. But that's to be expected because when you've got so many teams battling for those places, it's literally impossible for every single result to go your way. It's like winning the lottery. It's having every single ball come up. Highly unlikely. Coventry beat Sunderland 2-1. Sheffield United beat Watford. West Brom beat Middlesbrough 2-0. And what was it? Luton won. So that's not. What else is there? Blackburn won. That's not good. They won 3-1. And Norwich beat Cardiff. So 3 results didn't go on our favour, and the rest did. If we look at the table now, so we're in 5th place with 53 points plus 8 goal difference. We are 2 points off the team above us, and we are level with Luton in 6th. And there we could, if we don't win our next game, fall out of the playoffs again. And that our next game is a game in hand. So it looks like, obviously, it's a game in hand on Norwich, on Luton, Sunderland, and on Blackburn and on Middlesbrough. If we win that, we're on 56, and we're kind of sitting pretty because that will lead ahead of Luton because our game in hand is against them, and it's also their game in hand. Both teams are on 53 points. Both teams are on +8. We're literally identical on the goals that we've scored and the goals that we've conceded. It's 1 goal difference. We've scored 1 more than them, and we've conceded 1 more than them. Yeah, it's a bit of a big game. A win would be very good. A win would be absolutely awesome. As I said, we'll go up to 56, and that will strip Luton of their game in hand and give them nothing from that and leave them on 53. So we would be certain of not. We wouldn't have this situation where I know the fact Gary Rowett said the managers and the players are not looking at it in terms of whether we are in or out of the of the playoff places, but the fans certainly are, which is to be expected. And you get one bad result, you're going to drop out because there's like 3 or 4 teams chasing you, and that's the reality of the situation. Now the reality is, if we win against Luton, that goes away for a while, because then we're on 56 and the team outside of the playoffs is on 52. So we will have that respite where there will be a buffer. If we get a bad result, if we lose a game, it will come back again. So it doesn't really matter in the end. You just need to finish in the playoffs at the end of the season. I would certainly say, for the same thing in reverse, that Tuesday's game is a must not lose game. So we cannot lose that game. It's not something that will knock us out of the situation, but it would be a massive setback. Especially if we do get in the playoffs. What is the aim of the playoffs? You get in the playoffs, then what? We have to play the teams in the playoffs. In terms of the results that we've got against Blackburn, against Middlesbrough, and against Luton, we need to be beating these teams in the league so that when we're playing them in the playoffs, we know this is how we can beat them. So there you go. Yeah. While we're here, let's just have a look at our waveform. This is it. This is what I said. We need to get our away form into the top 10, and we have. Look at this: 4 away wins in the last 6 away games. Our away. We've got more away wins than we did in the entire of last season. We still got many games to come against some of the lesser teams in the league. This is it. This is what we needed to do. We needed to improve our away form. That was the Achilles heel. Solved it. Done it. We need to carry that on Tuesday against Luton. So let's have a look at Luton, because they're a really good team away from home. So I'm assuming that the home form is dog shit. 15th. They draw a lot of games at home. 7 games. They've got the most home draws in the league. Luton. Most home draws in the league, 7, which means they're 15th in the home table. So I'm probably gonna guess that they would be quite happy with a draw against Millwall. While we're here, nearly there, nearly at the end, we now have, obviously with Zion Fleming's goal, he's caught back up to Bradshaw. We have 2 players in the top 10 goal scorers. Bradshaw's on 11, Fleming's now on 11 as well. And it's a bit of a dichotomy, because we have Bradshaw scoring most of his goals at home, 9 goals at the Den. Good for you season ticket holders, you've seen all them. Away, Zion Fleming, 7. So if you're a Millwall fan that goes on the road, you've been seeing the Zion Fleming massacres. That's kind of interesting situation to be in, where you have an attacking midfielder and a striker, and one of them scores in home games, one of them scores in away games. Not bad at all. So yeah, there you go. Millwall win. Millwall stay 5th in the table, and big game coming up on Tuesday. And on that note, thank you for watching, and